This podcast is with Henri Uhlig. He's a 23-year-old German rider on Alpecin Deceuninck and racing in his second year in the World Tour. Henry's road to the World Tour was more similar to someone who's also trying to manage having a plan B for life after cycling while trying to make it to the pros, because he finished the police academy during his junior and under 23 years, and basically once he finished that, he got the call up to the World Tour. If you want to hear the stories about balancing trying to work or go to school while trying to make it pro, this episode is full of them. And as always, we cover a ton more content around training, racing, and everything else. Henry, like most of the guests you hear on this podcast, read my book. So if you're curious about that or some of the stories we tell in this podcast, howtobecomeaprocyclist.com is where you can find everything. Also, when Henry's saying he really liked the podcast with Alison Jackson and Sepp Kuss, those podcasts are only in the book, not on this podcast that you're listening to. So if you're looking for them, those are only in the book, those podcast episodes. If books or audiobooks are your thing, I just recommend reading some of the reviews from other people on the website just to see if it might be for you. Also, keep in mind, in the audiobook and video series version, there's 6 more podcasts in there you can't get anywhere else with some of the best riders in the world, which was just to make the book more fun to listen to, and so you could hear from Sepp Kuss, Alison Jackson, Mitch Docker, Swain Tuft, Jan Maas, and Dan Bigham. But most people are stoked to get the book just to hear those podcast episodes because it's like another 8 hours of podcasts with those superstars just as a bonus on top of the book. If you guys like this stuff, I put a few hours into each of these episodes, but I put 5 years into that book, so it's just way, way more. If you like the podcast, I think you'd enjoy the book even more. That's all. As always, there's no ads. This is all for fun and for free, so the only thing I'll ever ask is that if you guys like these episodes, please share them if you like them. If you like it, pay it forward and help someone else find this stuff. That's it. Enjoy, Henri Uhlig. Cool, man. Dude, what's your tattoo of on your arm?
It's just some symbols, like an owl, and some symbols which are important to me.
Oh, it's cool. Do you want to say what they are or not? It just looks cool. I like it.
Yeah, like it goes one way around, and then I have the big owl, like my family symbol, on the arm.
Yeah, hey, man, it looks awesome. I think it
Yeah,
looks
thank
cool.
you, thank you.
Yeah. Are you in Regensburg now?
Yes, like
Yeah.
in a small village. Um,
Do you think you'll stay there your whole career?
I don't know. Actually, yesterday I checked Strava heat maps,
Yeah.
and like in a circle of 50K, I have every road discovered. Uh,
I can imagine. You've lived there your whole life.
Yes, but when I checked, I was like, "Ooh, like I don't know if I can keep going like this. Always the same roads. Like I like it here, and also like going the Bavarian forest, like the climbs. But like if you have like just 3 hours, I don't even know where to go anymore because I don't see anything new.
Yeah. Well, are you the type of, like, I mean, a lot of cyclists actually kind of like that. You just go to your same climb all the time to do your intervals and stuff. Are you like that or not?
Nah, actually, I always want to test new routes. That's like really nice, and I'm
Okay.
also really happy if I just like find a small road if it's just 1K extra or something. I'm always happy to see something new. But like now, I need to go like 4 5 hour rides to find something new. So that's always a bit difficult. And also like yeah, the problem for me it's like I ride like 4 hours, 5 hours, and I always come back on the minute. Like no matter where I go
Yeah.
because I know the roads so well. Like I know like if I turn now the next one left, I will be home perfectly in time, no matter the wind, no matter anything. It's like uh, yeah, it's crazy. But it's also a bit
Yeah.
shit that you know when you're on the way back, you always know, if you have a fit day, it's exactly 34 minutes, for example, to go. It's always a bit difficult, but overall, yeah, it's still really nice here.
I like that when it's like when you're cracked at the end of the block and you're just like, okay, at the base of the last climb to get home for me, I know it's exactly 1 hour. Like it's pretty much always spot on an hour. And I know it's like, okay, at that little cross on the side, it's 25 minutes. Once I get to my valley, it's 20 minutes home. I like that. It makes it more mentally easy.
Yeah, for me, it's more like, it's still a long way. Like, even though 20 minutes are not long. And like, for example, if I go into the Bavarian forest, it's like you enter like a different dimension, it feels like. and then like everything is like
Okay.
beautiful up there. Like you have like nice forests, nice views, nice landscapes, and then I always need to go the last 25K the same way back, and then it's
Hmm.
like it feels always like gray. It's not gray, but it feels
Yeah.
like it, and then it's just flat,
Okay.
and then it's always such a long way back. But as a warm up, it's nice. But like on the way back, it's always still like for 50 minutes of flat roads. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Where's your favorite place to go training? Where have you been for
Wow,
training
yeah,
camps and
I've
stuff?
been all around. But if I would choose, I would go to Mallorca.
Yeah.
Girona is also nice. With team, we go to Benicassim. It's like north from Valencia. It's like the other direction to Calpe because everyone goes to Calpe, Denia. We always go in the other direction of Valencia. Uh, but
Like Synchrosphere.
no, that's in the more south from Valencia, or like more to the left, and we always go more to the right. Um, Oropesa is a big town next to it, or Villafranca, I think. Yeah, and then like the team always goes there since 15 years, so we go there every year and do our training.
Okay, but I thought you guys went to Synchrosphere a lot more. Like, does the team have some sort of partnership with that hotel?
I
Because like
actually
when I
don't
was there
know.
last, okay, but you've been there, right?
Yes, I also have been there in January, but I think because they also have good connections to the other hotel, they always go there in December and January. And now with the altitude boys, they booked the Synchrosphere, I think, from January till March, and then they always
Okay.
came with different guys and then switched around. But like for like the Devo riders or like the pros who went to Australia, we went always to the same place in Benicassim.
Do you like training around there?
Yeah, like the last time was actually nice, but before that you always go up the same roads because there's not too much in like around 4 hours. It's like you always go up to a plateau and then you ride there 2 hours
Yeah.
and then you go back. And then one
Yeah.
training camp we did from 10 rides we did 10 times the same start. So you always went up the
Hmm.
same hill and you knew like on top you stopped for the toilet and then it was always already 1 hour till there. But like you knew the climb after 3 days. You knew every corner. So
Yeah.
that was a bit
This.
unfortunate. But like last time we also went to the other direction closer to Valencia and there are also some nice hills. So it was actually they're really nice. But there you also have like 40 Ks of flat run in before and after to get there. So I understand the team that they just do the usual stuff. They know the climbs for the testing and everything. So
Yeah. Okay, I understand that. I mean, like I get it for the nice weather. Like when it's January and stuff, it's the nicest weather you can get to in Europe. But for me, like I don't know if you find this at all, but I prefer it. So I'm in Austria, but it's like similar around Bavaria where you just have everything's more green. Like once it's nice to ride outside here, I just don't like that everything is not as green when everything is so dry around Spain there.
yes, I also think so. Like I just I don't go to Spain on my own yet. Maybe it will change in the future, but now all the trainings in December, apart from the training camp, I could do here. For sure, it's a bit colder, but it makes you also stronger and harder. So
Yeah.
I think there's nothing to complain like around here in the winter.
Hmm. So you're fine to train in Germany the whole winter.
Yes, I mean I have everything here I need. I can go flat, I can go hilly, I can go climbing. Like there's nothing like where I would else want to go. I mean, like you see the guys in Spain, and then I see guys who join in or go in November already to Spain, and then they're there till February, but their peak is already in January, uh, and then there's nothing more to show from them. Like not the pros, but like in Conti guys, I see it a lot, and for me, it's more like yeah, train easy at home, have the nice environment, see the family. I mean, you're so much gone in the season, so why should I take more time in Spain? Then I can also spend it at home. But I mean, if the weather forecast is rain, I think you can easily book a flight fast to the places you want to go in Spain.
I agree. And hey, man, I much prefer to spend as much time at home as possible. Like this is the thing I can't figure out. I work my whole life to get here, and I'm like, this is sick. Like I love it here. This is amazing. And then you meet all the people here, and like, especially with the girls, they all have the same freaking problem. They all want to travel so much. I'm like, where you want to go? Like I've been everywhere. Like here's the best spot. We don't got to go anywhere. It's like this is the place you want to be. Trust me, I've been there. Here's better. We can just stay here.
Yes, I understand the point, but I have also the feeling if you like see your home like for a long time, you don't appreciate it as much as you, for example, now. And like you get used to it, like to have the nice views and everything. And I'm also like when I was now the month in Australia, and then I come back home, and then I see like stuff I never looked at before, even though I passed there 100 times, and I'm like, wow, now you can see the mountains from here, but it's beautiful and everything. And I think like to take a break and then come back, I think you appreciate it again. So maybe if the girls go on holidays and come back, oh, we have it really better here. Maybe they're thinking like this then.
That's what I say, man. It's like every time I come home, like driving home from a race or something, then you just get back into my valley here, and I'm like, oh, this is the best. This I am. I've where I live is the best spot so far that I've found.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
imagine. It's really nice there, yes.
Hmm. Have you spent much time at Synchrosphere then? Like you've done a couple altitude camps there then?
I was actually just once there for training camp for the season, but we didn't use the altitude rooms.
Okay.
And I was just on one altitude camp last year before the Vuelta. So I was with the eight boys from the Vuelta. We were in, oh, I forgot, La Plagne in France,
Yeah.
where they have a Tour de France finished this year, I think. And that was my first altitude, and we just wanted to see how I go and how I'm getting used to the altitude. So yeah, but then there was nothing more planned for this season yet.
Okay. How did you find the altitude? Because I love real altitude is awesome for me. I love it, but I didn't like the altitude rooms. Like I really didn't like this at all. But for me, like real altitude is awesome. How did you find it?
Yeah, actually, it's hard to tell. I mean, the problem was for me, I had COVID in July after or in tour of Qinghai Lake in China. So I was out for 2 weeks, and then the coach really wanted to have me there. So I was there literally with no shape. So I was suffering on every climb, getting dropped. I always needed to go my own tempo, and like for sure, the boys they were a bit pissed off because they always needed to wait for me. Um, so like yeah, the first week really took its toll on me. Like I was really fatigued and everything, but actually, like I would say, I didn't feel a difference after. I was on my normal shape after, I would say, but it was not like that I was flying or something. But it could have also been because I was getting there in bad shape and just got good shape. But I don't know if how it would have been if I would have been in good shape there, and then maybe I would have been flying afterwards. But it was not like that. I felt a huge difference, like the heart rate stayed normal, like the oxygen levels. But for sure, like in the altitude, I was yeah a bit weaker on the climbs, but overall, I didn't feel a huge difference. But maybe in some time when I'm in better shape, arriving there can be different.
Sure. Well, man, like you're Mr. Consistent with like how many top threes you have in the last couple of years. Like, but you've also had a really rough go with just like sickness, haven't you?
Yes, that's I think my worst weakness to get sick a lot. Like if someone is coughing around, I'm the first one to be sick. And also now the
Oh,
best example, like after Volta Valencia, I catched the flu and was 3 weeks out. And then we had like three teammates who felt sick in the race. And then they were training 3 days after, and I got completely smashed from it.
poor. So how's that been? I mean, not fun, but like, what have you just been in bed for a few weeks, or how's that gone
Yeah,
since
the
Valencia?
problem was I planned a training camp in Mallorca, and then I was there, and then the next day I couldn't get out of bed anymore with fever and everything, so I was 1 week in Mallorca in the bed, and then at home I even needed to take 1.5 weeks more off, I think, and like for sure the coach like wanted me to try to ride a bike, so I stepped on the rollers for with 150 watts, like. Uh, Stepped down after 30 minutes because I couldn't push anymore. Yeah, and then for sure you always go to docs, do some checks. But then I did a heart check after 3 weeks, and they declared that it was fine. So I started training again now since more 2.5 weeks, I think. And yeah, I'm improving, but still the legs are not at the training shape I was used to.
Yeah, I get it, but so have you figured out like do you know why it is that you've had such a problem with getting sick? Like have you started to figure this out being like okay, do this, don't do this or anything like that?
Actually, I really don't know. Like, I was also really allergic against air conditioning. So like every time I was like in a car or something and you felt something on the neck, immediately sick, for example. But yeah, now I had like a method where like I think like a doctor showed me. I think it's also believing, a lot of believing, and then like you
Placebo.
push like yeah, placebo basically. Like you push something with your hands in your neck, and since then I don't get sick anymore from air condition. So every time I feel like it's hitting me on the neck, I do like the movement with my hands, and then it's fine. Um,
What are you doing? Are
and
you like choking yourself?
now you start like pushing with your thumb in your hand in the inside, like this, and the other side,
Okay.
and then you go on your neck with the two thumbs, and then you press it in your neck, and then you just turn it around like I don't know 20 times until you feel good again. And it actually works. And then I opened up my eyes at a race, and I saw a teammate also doing it. So I was like, ah, I'm not the only one doing it, so it won't be that stupid. Maybe makes sense. So yeah,
Ancient Chinese medicine. Okay.
yeah, yeah, that's true. It's from the traditional Chinese medicine. Uh,
Okay.
I also have a good friend who's also doc, and then he tried to put the acupuncture with the needles. Uh, but I'm not a big fan of that. Like where they put your
Okay.
needles in every part of your body, and then so like, this is for sickness, this is I don't know for muscle pain. But yeah, that didn't work too much. And then the other problem is I also have big allergy problems. So
Okay.
in Germany, it already started in beginning of March, and then it's also difficult. Like I came out with the influenza virus, and then your nose starts running. You have slime in the throat, but then you don't know if you're sick or it's just the allergies. And that's
Mm-hmm.
always bothering me also, like in the middle part of the season. And yeah, then I think like in the Devo team, I also often got sick, but I think it was more because I didn't have the base miles, and
Okay.
that's more like from the police education I did back then in the winter, which always cost me something in June, July, I would say.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Like, so for me, it was I had a bit. I'd never had problems with allergies my whole life until I came to Europe. In like my first 2 years, I had it a lot in the spring because where I'd come from in Canada, it's like all evergreen trees, and so there's not that much pollen, or it's a different kind of pollen or whatever. And then I really struggled with this when I first came to Europe, and then like the farmers start plowing the fields and all this, and just kicking everything up. And then it really bugged me the first year, and then it was a little bit better the second year, and I just never did anything about it because the I'd ask for like what can I do about this? And I think maybe they gave me like antihistamines at one point, and it was like a little bit helpful. And then they were like, oh, yeah, if you want to get to the base of this, they basically just need to inject you with like the allergen over and over and over again. I'm like, I can't deal with this. Right? Like, I didn't even know where to go to get this done. So I just never bothered with it. And then it just like, I guess I just got away or got used to it or got immune to it after a while. And then now I don't have any problems with it, but I know that drove me nuts the first like 2 years, like especially in the spring, when as soon as the farmers would start plowing all the fields and kicking everything up, and then that would drive me nuts. And then when you're training really hard, it can like you almost end up getting sick from it.
Yes, it's also a bit like if you go full in the cold and your lung burns like crazy.
Yeah.
It's the same if you have the allergies. Like you go one deep and then you think like, oh, I don't know if I go too hard or something, but like it's burning completely. Like, yeah, it's hard to prevent it. Like you said, there are some medicines, but it's always yeah, not the right time to start. I think it's always like off season where you would need to start. But I think I need to try also to start with some the prescription from the doc. I think there are also pills against it which you can take at night, and then hopefully it gets
Okay.
better. But at the moment, I also don't take anything to prevent it.
Hmm. Hey, and so here's like an interesting question, like something that you said before when you're talking about like you see like for example like Conti riders is really common where like they go train in Spain from like November to February and then you're flying and you put out your best numbers in February and then it's like you're nowhere for the rest of the year. Why do you think that happens? Or like how do you think you fix this problem? Because I know I had this issue for like a long time when I was younger where like you're absolutely crushing everybody by February and then you struggle to ever see that form again for the rest of the year. But like you want to train hard all winter, like you're super motivated to like start the season better. So you train like a madman from November to the start of the season. But then how do you think you fix this as far as like what do you think guys do wrong when they're like absolutely peaking in February and then they struggle to ever match that in July?
Yes, what I see is the biggest problem. I also learned it just when I joined Alpecin. I think mentally you're thinking, okay, now I'm in Spain and now I need to go hard. And like people still don't listen to your body that much, or yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, they just start training too much. Like when I think what I train in November, it's nothing. Like maybe 12, 15 hours with gym included. And then they go to Mallorca and start, or like to Spain and start already with 20, 25-hour weeks because they think like, ah, now we are training and now we need to go. But I think what they really don't think about is like that you need to start with 2 hour, 3 hour rides, even you're in Spain. Like that's, I think, the biggest problem that you're so motivated. And then you see like also the progress increasing really fast and then you're already in December pushing your numbers you did in top shape the last year, and then you train on for sure. But I think that's the biggest problem that you start way too hard, way too early.
But then eventually, but like by February, you're absolutely flying. So it kind of works. So do you think it's like you only have so many bullets to spend in a season? And if you spend them all in December, you don't have any left for July? Or how do you think to do this? Because there's guys that are like performing, that are flying in February and then they're also flying in July. So like, how do they do it?
Yeah, I think it also depends who is your coach and everything. But like the trend I see, especially from German riders, it's more like I think they just over push it and then they're like gone in March, like not overtrained, but just over the top because they you can't hold your peak for long, you know. And it's not a steady build up; it's more like a fast build up. And like,
Okay.
why you need shape in February, you know? Like, especially as a Conti guy, I think you also always had good shape in February, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Oh, did you read the book? Did you read my book? Is that why you say that?
Yes, like I listened to it, and I think when you joined Leopard, you said like that you went like crazy in numbers, and then
Yeah.
there was not much, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like, and also for me, like, I think that when I look back on that, for sure, like everything you just said totally applies. For me, the biggest thing was that was like when I had first landed in Europe. So I'd been training like a madman in Canada forever, and then you land in Europe, and it's like, oh, now you got to rebuild everything in your life here. Like you're figuring out like visas and like even just how to live here. And like when you have nothing, it's like a lot of stress. Even just like getting your groceries and stuff and doing everything by bike, or if like a spoke breaks on your wheel and you're like, where do I even go for a bike shop for this? And I'm like organizing a mission with the buses and stuff to like it, something that takes 15 minutes to fix ends up taking like 2 days and just like all this nonsense. drove me crazy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that drove me nuts that first year in Europe, and yeah, absolutely flying in February, and then just struggling for the rest of the year because you're just throwing away so much of your performance just trying to figure out how to live here. And the upside of it, part of it, was that they figured it's like, well, this guy's just crazy strong, so if we just throw him in every race, eventually he's going to win something. And so like I got picked for every race that year, so that was good. But yeah, there was that.
Yeah, uh, it's good for the experience, but yeah, I can
Got
understand
to
it.
learn at some point.
Like, yeah, like it's. I think it's the same with the Conti riders that they spend 4 months in Spain. Like, they're also like, I don't know, maybe race against the pros some part of the season or something, and then they go full already. So, yeah.
But okay, so then how did you do it this last year? Okay, if you obviously didn't plan to get sick right now, but you were down under and you were going really well there. So like, what is the build up to get you going? I mean, do you think you're going well in Australia? I think you're going well.
Yes, it was not planned to go well in Australia, uh, but I was already flying in December. Like, my training numbers were really good. Uh, like not the peak power, but more like the average of the rides was higher than ever before. So I knew I was in pretty good shape, but I also knew it was far from my best. But still,
Okay.
like normally I'm not the best guy in the heat, and luckily the weather was not too hot, and we had like a steadily build up. I think like the first days were like 20, then 25, and then 30. So like my body had the time to like get used to the heat, and I think that was also a good point for me. And then yeah, I mean it's also most of the time it's just mentally if you're ready for it or not. And then I also pushed a 5 minute power record, 10 minutes. I didn't get far with the 10 minutes, but I still pushed it. So nah, was really good. And also I think on the second stage. I did my best sprint power in a long time in a race, which normally the best guys can push in a training and not in a race. So it was actually really nice to be able like to push good sprint numbers also in a race. And yeah, overall I was 100% happy with the performance because I was not expecting it to go that well. Um, but yeah, then it was a bit difficult afterwards.
Okay. Well, then walk me through what the buildup is. So when did you end last season? Like October 10th or something like that?
Yes, I think October 13th at a cyclocross race, and then it was over. And then, yeah, drink some beers and everything. You know the how
Sure.
it goes. No, and
Yeah.
then actually I started in November already, but like I said, I didn't do more than 10 to 15 hours. And then like I
Okay.
was always like asking the coach, yeah, how about 4 hours? But he never let me ride the more than 3 hours. So like my
Okay.
first 4 hour ride was in a training camp, I think, and or maybe did one
In
four
what,
hour ride
December?
before, yeah. And then yeah, we
Okay.
went to the training camp, and then we did like the inside test, and my numbers were already better than last year in the same time, Mm, and with not really much intensity. So we didn't do too much hard training before. And yeah, after the training camp, I had really good trainings at home uh, where I really could focus on training and never skip the training. And I was also mentally really in really good shape. That's why I also didn't get sick in the winter because this year I told myself to do everything right, and like even if I had a bad day, I was not getting depressed like other years. And like if I felt like sometimes throat pain or something, I would have got like, oh no, I'm sick tomorrow, and then I was sick. And this year I was like really like, yeah, nothing can stop my preparation. Uh, Maybe you needed to ride one day 2 hours instead of three. That was the biggest issue I had. And then like I really trained really good over like the holidays. And then yeah, we had another training camp before Down Under, and that was just the final touch. But yeah, also like Australia is also really nice because the stages are not longer than 3.5 hours. So it's always you don't need too much space training, like the long hours. You don't need to clock in to be good there.
Hmm. So did you do anything different, like to get you going better than ever this year? Or you think it's just years of training because you're still only 23?
Yeah, we just stepped up the volume. I think 1.5 hours each week compared to last year, so not much of a difference. But I think I was just more stable coming out of the winter, or like also coming out of last season. Um, and then you start from a better point than if you end the season already with bad feeling, I think. So I
Hmm.
think I already started with better feelings, and also like I did strength, yeah, gym strength training, really consistent this year. I didn't do it last year. I think that also put me up a bit higher than I was the year before.
How many times do you go to the gym a week?
Yeah, I did I think 2 times a week, but we really focused on like the long how you say the long muscle build up, like never max pulls, like squats and everything, always like long squats, like 20 times or something. So I never had like
Okay.
the high max power. So I think that also really helped, like in the build up.
So what, like 3 sets of 20, or what do you do for squats then?
Yes, 3 sets of 20, 3 sets of 15 deadlift, and some lunges, and I don't know the other one I did, but something like this. So like always 3 times 20 or 3 times 15, and then not so
Okay.
much weight. So it like really it was really hard because like after 1.5 minutes you start to forget how to breathe basically. Uh, because it gets like really intense in terms of like yeah, your endurance.
Okay. And so you just stuck with this the whole time, like with that many reps? You never sort of dropped it down to like 8 or 10 reps or something like that?
No, I just increased the weight and got stronger. And yeah, for sure, I also did some core sessions next to that. But like, I
Hmm.
never decreased something. Like, was always the same.
Okay. And do you do the gym before or after the bike?
Yeah, in the beginning, I never did a different or a second training, and some days I did running before in the morning, and some days I did the bike, but I didn't like the days where I needed to ride the bike because I also had like low cadence intervals on those days, and like if I did it before, I already came in with heavy legs.
Yeah.
Uh, so for me, it was better to don't do any riding before or after. It was just one
Okay.
training day.
Would you keep the gym training all throughout the year? Like if like illness, injury, any of that stuff doesn't set you back, would you keep doing the gym training all year long?
Well, I don't know. I never did it in the season. Maybe it's something for the next years, but I personally just like it to have it in the winter. And I think the coach also, otherwise, he would put it in the program. And if he would put it in the
Okay.
program, I would do it, and then we could find out if I would need to do it. No, I'm just a bit lazy in core things. That's my problem because yeah, I don't know. Even if I just do 5 minutes, I'm sweating all over. It's crazy. Like I see like the guys warming up before a ride or something, like to have some core work, and they put the kit on, and I'm thinking, oh, I would start freezing if I go outside because I'm already full sweating. Uh, nah, but that's something to work on. But yeah, my core was not too bad that it's a big issue if I don't do it, but for sure core. if someone is listening, core is always important.
Yeah. No one's listening, man. Don't worry. It's just you and me
Yeah,
talking.
no, but
Man,
maybe
you're full
some
sweating doing
some
your core
young,
workout.
yeah,
What are you doing for core training? How are you full sweating doing this?
yeah. I'm just full sweater. It depends. Like I don't do much, and I start sweating. Like I just stretch, and I'm full
Hmm.
sweating already. Like it's not even that I do hardcore workouts or something. It's really, I don't know, like it's just my body starting to sweat.
Okay, fair enough. Did you do much heat training to get ready for Down Under? Because it's got to be crazy. I mean, okay, I guess you were in Spain a little bit, but like going from the European winter to the Australian summer, you said it wasn't that hot there, but did you do much like heat training to prepare for it?
Yeah, I was actually surprised that nothing was on the training plan at home to do some heat training because I saw like other guys already full in the core heat suit going crazy.
Yeah.
The only thing we did was three times after the ride, we did 30 minutes in the training camp for the
Okay.
heat adaptation. Uh, yeah, that was all we did. Was also the first time I did something like this, and yeah, I would say it worked because it was not too bad in Australia, but also it was not so hot, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Fair enough. Have you played with that? Have you done much heat training in the past with like at other times of the year?
Nah, never. I
No.
never tried it.
Hmm. Okay. How did you like? What is? How did you manage to do like the police academy alongside cycling? Because did Jonas Rich did this as well, and he was explaining this to me, and I was like, "This is crazy! Like, how did you fit this in with cycling?"
Yes, I also still don't know how I managed it. But yeah, actually, I'm really happy to make it to the pro ranks because it was not an easy task to have the education next to it. No, but like I finished, yeah, I don't know how you say to the school. Like I was in
Like
a
high
middle
school.
school, yeah, but
Yeah.
I just did 10 years, so I couldn't study afterwards. So like then you look like for options. What can you do to be still a athlete, but still have something for life after, or even if you don't make it to the pro rank, and then like over the national team, you could join like the police academy, and then like they also took me. Was a bit lucky that I got it directly after the school year because actually there were nine guys in the class and one guy got injured and he told the
Okay.
police so he wasn't allowed to start the year and then I was sliding into the spot but
Okay.
like I mean looking back it was really lucky but I was also a 17-year old teenager who had no clue of life and I think
This
that
is the
was the
perfect
hardest
guy we
part.
need to have as a police officer. Perfect. You're going to be the
Yes,
guy giving with the radar gun on the side of the road, giving out fun coupons.
yes, that was what I was thinking, how it's gonna be, because I was
Okay.
never liking school or was never good in school. And then
Okay.
I joined there, and 90% of the time you sit in the classroom. And then I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I was not ready to be 5 more years in school. And I think that was also making my life really hard because at that time I was like not mentally ready to see it as a chance. I was like, "Boah, now again, school every year." Like, I thought I joined the police and then you learn cool stuff. Like, I mean, you still learned it, but it was not as much as I was hoping for. It was just
Have you
like
ever seen the movie
10%
The
of it.
Other Guys? Have you ever seen the
No,
movie The Other Guys with Will Ferrell? No,
no.
you've never seen The Other Guys? Like they think they're or no, that's not from The Other Guys. That's from 21 Jump Street.
Yeah,
And they think they're
that's
they think
what
they're
I
going to be
saw. Yeah.
cops and then they're riding around on bicycles.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Okay.
No, and then I think in the first year the biggest problem was like we didn't know what to expect, and I mean as a kid you can always train and you never get fatigued.
Yeah.
Like you can slam on your body as much as you want, and the next day you wake up and you're fine again. Like I
Yeah.
also never had like sleeping issues or something as a kid. Like I don't know how I managed it, but like looking back, it's crazy. And then I was there like living on my own for the first time. Don't know how to cook, what to cook. Then yeah, 2 times or 3 times of the week you buy junk food because you're too lazy. And then also
Yeah.
my roommate was not helping because he's like air shooting rifle guy. Like they
Shoots
just
air.
shoot with
I
a
thought they let you shoot the
air
real
pistol.
rifles.
No, they
Oh,
just
the
shoot air
in the hotel
pistols.
in the yeah, yeah, yeah. In
Yeah,
your
and
room.
then no. Like they need to go to a place for it for sure. But like I mean that was the sport. But like
Okay.
basically the only thing he trains is like shooting 2 hours, and then he
That's a
comes
good guy
back.
to have in the police.
Yes, like
Okay.
we had big discussions like why it's a sport, and then he said like yeah, it's like mentally, and I said yeah, you can weigh as much as you want, you can eat as much as you want, you can smoke, you can be like 60 and still be top. And then he was like yeah, but like it's mental. And I said like yeah, every sport is mental. It's not like that yours is the only one. No, but like I think he also affected me a bit in some decisions, and actually they after 3 months or something they split us apart because they
Yeah,
said
because he's gonna shoot you.
no, but because we were both not good in school, and we're both lazy. And
Okay.
yeah, that was also the year I was overtrained, unfortunately, because like I said,
Okay.
we didn't know what to expect, and I was training the same amount I would have trained at home next to the school.
How old were you at this time? 19?
17. No, I was
17. Okay.
17. I was getting into second year juniors. So we still thought like, yeah, you can train the same way as you did at home. Uh,
Okay.
but then you have like the school was from 7 till 3 in the afternoon, I think.
7 to 3. Oh, 7 in the
Yeah,
morning till 3 in the afternoon.
7
Okay.
a.m.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Okay.
yeah, you needed to wake up at 6, I think. And then like yeah, I was still training like 3 4 hours in the week in the darkness and everything, like a bit like you, but I was never a fan of darkness. Uh, no, so like
You just got to
I
get better
didn't
lights, man.
know
That's
how
it took me
much
like 10
the
years to figure
police
that out.
actually had an impact. Yeah, yeah, no, but
Yeah.
like I didn't have the energy to do it. That was the problem because like the education was actually so hard for me personally. I don't know how it's for the others that I like
Yeah.
couldn't I didn't have the energy to do like full trainings. And like if you see my training progress over the years at the police, the hours went
Yeah.
down. So basically in the last year when I was fourth year under 23, I did the least training the whole winter compared to like when I joined the police because like I didn't have the time, I didn't have the energy. I was just fatigued every day. It was like it was really crazy.
I can
So
understand, man. Like you guys have a million rules in Germany. Like there's it's got to be a lot of
yes.
time in the classroom to learn all these rules. Like I got pulled over by the police and the guys asked me if I have a first aid kit in the car and I'm like, "What?" Like I don't know. Like maybe I got some bandages in my race bag. Does that count? He's, oh, we got to inspect it. Like open up the compartment where the spare tire is. Look at that. I have a first aid kit in my car and I got this like silly safety vest and all. I'm just looking at them like, okay, I got the first aid kit, but like, man, if I get into a car accident, I'm not gonna need a first aid kit. I'm gonna need an ambulance. Like, I'm not gonna be the one bandaging myself up with this.
Yeah, but if you see a car accident, you need it. That's like always
A first aid
preventing.
kit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it makes sense.
if you're
I'm
the
just thinking,
first
I'm
helper,
probably not gonna
then
be. Oh,
yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, good point. I would. I good thing I had it then.
yeah. No, normally every car should have it. That's correct. They did a good job, I need to
I
say.
gotta tell the Canadians when I go back, guys. Do you have a first aid kit in your car? And my brother laughed at me when I told him this. He's just like, "What did you do to piss this guy off? Like he's asking you for a first aid
Yeah.
kit." Like,
No, that's the normal
hey,
control. It's like they need to do it. You have
yeah,
like 5 or 6
there you go.
points at the traffic control, and then you need to work
I
down the
went through
list.
all of them.
Yeah.
Doing like a breathalyzer test. I'm like, dude, I haven't had a beer in like 5 months. He's like, all of them. It should be no problem. It's like, thank God there was no problem.
Yeah, and if you say no in Germany, they take you to the station even though you didn't drink. They say like,
Oh,
you don't need to do it, and then you say no, and then they say, come with us.
I don't need to go to the police station. I'm already
Yeah,
an immigrant on my best behavior.
yeah. No,
Okay.
but
All
then
right.
like,
Wait, so keep going.
yeah. So like, yeah, I trained full, and then like also the off season in the police education is no real off season because
Hmm.
like you have like the whole day program, and like when I came home in the weekends, I was sleeping just on the sofa. I never like I could never take a nap, and out of nowhere I was just there. I was so fatigued, and I just slept there. But like, yeah, we trained on, and then I did cyclocross, track nationals, and everything. So basically, like you have like 4.5, 4 months, always from October till January education, and then you have like 8 months free. You can live like a pro, and they pay you. So that was also why it was so attractive because like, oh yeah, 8 months freedom. You can focus on your career, and
Nice.
so basically, I got to the point in January where we got the free time, and then I think there's where the things went wrong because I never had it that you have nothing to do with your life, and then the only
Wait,
thing you
hold
do
on a
is
second here. Back up a second. So you started with the police academy when you're 17, and then how long does it take to finish the police academy? 4 years?
5 years.
5 years. Okay. And then so you finish when you're what, 22?
Yeah,
Last year?
21, 22, fourth year under 23, you finish, or like I finished because I
Okay.
started in the first. Yeah,
And at the end of all of it, you get these 8 months off, or every year?
no, 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 every year.
Oh, every year. Okay, got it. All right, continue
So
then.
it's not the full
Continue the story.
year. It's because you have like the sports federation, like they push the sport, and they want you to be successful, so they give you the 8 months and pay you full.
That's nice.
So that's also attractive. I mean, like if you're 17 and you get like big load of money, uh, and then you can train like a pro who has this in juniors, like.
Yeah, it's
But
amazing.
I think that's where the problems started because like February, what do? You train full because you have nothing to do the whole day. And then like we
Hmm.
did also crazy things like skiing one day, the next day we drove home. Like my brother drove me home, and then we rode 6.5, 7 hours. But at the time we thought like goes all good. And like
Hmm.
I'm still 17, like, and I get sick a lot of times. And then yeah, I think we had in beginning of March we had like training camp from the national team in Mallorca, and there I was riding in the wheels 150 watts, 150 heart rate, and I was like, wow, something is wrong. And then like I joined the good guys some days, and the other days I couldn't train. And then like national team, everyone wants to be better than the other ones, and then you're the first one to drop. And like I couldn't even train really, so I went home, did some blood checks, and then I think I did one race, and in that race like it was completely flat, and I was just moving backwards. I had average heart rate in 3 hours 190, and like I wanted to like start the sprint, started in third position, and I just couldn't ride. Like I just got overtook by everyone, and then I was like, yeah, something's really wrong. So I talked with a lot of doctors, but like you can't find overtraining too much in your blood. Like you do a blood check, and then all is fine. And then like I talked with several guys and said, yeah, you're overtrained. And then I was like, ooh, yeah, how is this possible? But like looking back, like I did way too much because you were just like every Conti rider in Spain, just too motivated. Uh,
Yeah.
and then like, yeah, my whole second year of juniors was basically done. Like I took 2.5 months off, and then like in August I got back into shape. Like I think in April I stopped, and then June I started training again. And then I was actually lucky to find a continental team, and then it started again. Not overtraining, but like I came to the training camp after another year of the police was finished, and I had no
Hmm.
shape. I had nothing because I was often sick. I couldn't train, or I was just too fatigued to train, or I trained too much and got sick again. And then, yeah, you really start like wondering, like, yeah, how you gonna solve this problem? And then next year, in the second year under 23, I started like directly after the police. I went to Mallorca for 1 month and just base training, base training, base training, and then it started to work again. Uh, Started to feel good again, and that's also where I started to improve. Like, I mean, COVID year, there was not much racing, but there I was also actually flying at the end of the season. Also pushing numbers I didn't push till now in 2020. But then, yeah, you start again with the police. Everything goes a bit the same way. But yeah, then I was lucky to join Alpecin. And then, yeah, the coach in the first year was really like he wanted to push and he saw I couldn't because of the education. And then, like, luckily in the last year, he was really looking for me, and I didn't nearly do any training. Uh, but yeah, here I am talking about the stories. So no, and then I also did it when I joined Alpecin. I also did 1 month in Mallorca, and then I started end of March, beginning of April, and the last year under 23 also I did I think 1.5 months in Girona. Uh, and looking back, I'm actually really grateful to have the opportunity to go to the police because now I always have it as a plan B. And I'm also really
Yeah.
grateful that they made it possible that I'm allowed to chase my dream of being a professional rider because now I'm actually on holidays, like long-term holidays. They gave me 2 years to try it. And now, if I get a new contract or something, we need to see how it goes with the police. But at the moment, it's always the plan B. So if you have a bad crash or you know it can happen so fast, I always have like a safe option, and that's what I also would like to give advice to the younger kids. Like they all dream of being a pro, but no one thinks about the second option. That's like
Yeah.
if you see like in Germany you have like a university where you can do like the sports studying and basically you never go to the university. So when they stopped, they were like 4 years in the university after the under 23 years, but they have nothing because they didn't go to one year. And then you're there last year under 23 and now you're there like I'm 22, 23. What do I do now with my life?
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to like already look, and I mean it's hard, but I think it's still possible. Like if you're not a super talent like me, like you can still have the opportunities to grow somewhere and still make it to the pros.
Yeah, I think that, like, I don't know, at least for me, I never knew anything else I could be other than an athlete. Like I had so many jobs that I just hated and I was like, this sucks. Like I've tried so many different things, these all suck. I hate all of this. Like if I don't make it as a pro cyclist, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I like looking back, like hindsight's always 2020, but I think it's just important that you just keep trying things. Like cuz now it's like okay, I get to do all this fun stuff and now it makes sense, but it's like just like for me it was even just like forcing myself just to read every day, like just forcing the habit of like just reading books. And then for me it started like I think it was like I first started reading books about like productivity because I thought that would help me as an athlete, like just to organize my life better. And then I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then productivity leads you into like other things, whether it's like business or whatever. Like you just hear examples of other things you can do that you don't learn about in school. And that's where it all sort of spiraled out for me. I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm interested in something other than my training peaks or something like that. But it was just like I only started reading because I was like, well, I'm going to be an idiot if I just sit around watching Netflix all the time. So I'll force myself to read a book and maybe I'll learn something that'll help my cycling. And then that is what exposed me to like other things. But I completely sympathize for the guys who are like, dude, what do you want me to do? Like everything else just sounds horrible other than being a pro cyclist. So I get it, but it's nice that at least you were like, but the other thing I love, joking aside, I think it's so cool with the police here in at least Germany, Austria, Switzerland. I'm sure there's other countries that do this as well, where like they really support the athletes so much. Because and I think the way it works is when you're explaining that 8 months break that you get, I think you can pick which 8 months you want. So like the skiers get their 8 months off during the winter season, and then you can pick. No, am I wrong with that? How does that work?
Yeah, you can't pick, but you're
Oh,
right with the winter and summer. So like the winter always has like the education from May till August, I think, and we have it in the winter. That's like, but they can't say I will do it from March till June. So
okay.
it's still fixed. But yeah, for sure, it's like that the winter sport has the time in the winter. That's true.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So then, so for you, when was it? Was it from like August to January that you were in the police academy every year?
October to January. In the last year, we needed to start in September till January, so 5 months.
Well, that's at least nice that it lines up with the cycling season a little bit. So were you
Yeah,
basically
but there
trying to train?
I needed to stop in August already my season, unfortunately. Like in the
Why?
Yeah, because I was actually, I think I had knee pain or something, and then we discussed like that the police is so hard, like it's so much which you need to put into that we like took the off season earlier to start already in October because I couldn't do like the base miles. So
Okay.
like the plan was to start earlier with training and stop earlier because then I don't need to do as much when I
Hmm.
don't have the time to.
Okay. So were you training that much during the police academy days, or like when? Because when you talk about like just overtraining a lot, was were you just burning the candle way too hot during the police academy as well, or was it mostly okay? Police is done. Now I gotta just cram training January, February, October, all this kind of stuff. Now that I have all this free time.
Yeah, I think it was really like in the police which caused the problems because like you would go to 8 hours of school and then you still do a hard ride or something. I mean, it was sometimes possible because sometimes you had easier lessons or something. But most of the
Okay.
time, I think I was super consistent with gym work and like going to the gym because like after the school 1 hour gym was always possible. So I did it two
Hmm.
times in like 3 days or something. But like riding was not much of a time. I think like 2 days in the week we finished the school already earlier, so we had more time to train. So that was really nice. And then like for example, I think Wednesday was the only day where you could train longer than 2 hours on the bike. Yeah, and then you try to use most of the weekend, but you're in the weekend so fatigued that there's not much coming. So
Hmm.
I never had more than 10 hours in like in the last year of police. I never had more than 10 hours a week training in total with the
Hmm.
gym and the bike.
Okay. And then so you rode for Radnet. Radnet Rose was the Conti team, and then what was this like? You're really hard on yourself, man, as far as like overtraining and all these problems stuff. But you still had like great results. Like it's no surprise that you made it to the development team for Alpecin, and then up to the World Tour team. Like you can, it's, you're really hard on yourself, but you have some great results there, man.
Yeah, I always forget the good moments. No, it's hard to remember the good moments. No, but I think in Radnet it was also really nice that we had like 2 years long and really nice group of 6 or 7 guys. So you always had your friends at the races, and that was
Yeah.
also a huge push. And yeah, I mean, inside yourself, you still know what you're capable of. You just need to have the right day to show it the right moment. I mean, like the police never wanted to put stones in my way. Uh,
Okay.
Maybe I felt like this sometimes, but like from the moment I realized that they actually want to help you support your career, I think it also made like click, and then I could also focus better on the races. But I mean, I'm just talking like talking myself down in the winter because there was not much coming. Like if I see what the other guys train in the winter, and you come out in January and have since November 2,000 kilometers or 1,500, and they already have like 5, 6,000, for sure that's like huge. Yeah, how do you say? It's not you're not on the same level.
Demoralizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But then, so how did the step up to the which one were you more excited about? Making it onto the development team for Alpecin or making it to the World Tour team? Which was the cooler one?
Yeah, I would say the Devo team, because
Yeah.
this was
Okay.
like going into a new world. It, like stepping up to the pro ranks was also really nice. But I mean, you knew the environment, you knew all the riders, all the stuff. But like coming from like a small German Conti team with basically no name in cycling, coming and then you have Mathieu van der Poel sitting next to you, and then out of nowhere he tells you by your name. I mean, you sit there as a kid, and then you're like he knows my name. That's like really crazy. Like, and that's like what really made it exciting for me, like to see all the pros, because like I also did just one pro race before, and like I'm actually crazy to see like sometimes the confidence of Conti riders when they race against the pros, because when I raced against the pros, I was like, can I ride next to them? Like, can I overtake them? Like, wow. Imagine you have like I don't know, like Pogacar on your wheel, like in Catalonia. I had Pogacar in my wheel. I was like, fuck, he's behind me. Don't do anything stupid, like. And then you see like nowadays, like the Conti riders, like they have no respect. It's crazy. Like they don't care about who you are. They just are there to try to race as good as possible. But like for me,
Yeah,
it
because
was
they're
like,
starving.
yeah. But for me, like it was like, wow, all the pros sit there. You just know them from the television, and then to realize that they are only just humans, I think that was also big step, because like, yeah, I mean, you see everyone in television for sure, like he's famous or something, but at the end of the day, they're all just like you and me. Like it's crazy.
It's cool, eh? It's fun.
Yeah, yeah, but like, like it's, for me it was the same as movie stars, like unreachable, and then you sit next to them at the dinner or right next to them. That was like really really exciting, and also like to perform directly in the first year at Alpecin was also really really nice.
That's amazing, man. So, okay, so how did it go going from Radnet to Alpecin to Koenig? Did you have an agent helping you, or like what was like the first conversations? Again,
Yes.
you had the results. It's not shocking, but like explain to me like what happened. This end in like a hotel room signing a contract, or you get a phone call or an email? Like what happened?
No, it was all over the agent. They were like in talks with a lot of Devo teams, I think, like Jumbo back then, or like FDJ or something. And then like in August, he started to say like, ah, yeah, Alpecin is like the only real one now. And then they tried to focus on getting me in there. And then I think it was the Tour of Germany, two times in the break, and I showed myself good there. And then I was like, Phew, I think now it should be done. And then he called me also a week later saying I can join the team. And then I think I flew in October or something. I flew over and then met like the team boss and everything. Get the clothing fit done. I felt like a businessman.
Where? In Belgium or where?
Yeah, yeah, in Belgium, and it was
Yeah.
like in the while we had police, and then I flew on Wednesday and came back on the next day, and I was like a businessman. I was like, "Pwah, just flying somewhere for one day and then the next day back." That's like how the real bosses are doing it.
That's so cool, man. And you're gonna laugh. You're gonna think this is so stupid, but like Arnold was my hero as a kid, and the first story, like as I've heard all his stories a million times, but like his story about when he snuck out of the army to go to the bodybuilding competition, and he comes back and he's all in all this trouble, and then he shows him the trophy because he won, and suddenly everybody's so happy for him. That's the story that popped into my head when you're saying that, but you probably think that's goofy.
I don't know much about the Arnold.
How do you not know about Arnold? Arnold is more famous in North America than he is in Europe. What the
Yeah, that's
heck?
also funny, but the best is his accent. Like that's a perfect example of Austrians talking English.
We love it. We love it. It's so funny.
Yes.
He's the guy. He like this guy is the dream of success. He was the governor of a state that he can't pronounce. Like,
Ah,
incredible. Okay, but okay, and then so I mean you killed it with the development team, and then so when did you get the how did the step up to the world tour team go?
yeah, I think it was really good from the team because yeah, for sure I won two UCI races in 1 month in the first year in the Devo team, and then you start thinking, can I join the pros already? I think I got also top 10 Tour of Hungary against really good sprinters, and then you're like, can I join the pros already? And you think like, maybe. But actually, it was really good that they kept me one more year in the development team, also with the police. And then like
Okay.
I was nearly at every race the leader of the Devo team, and I always got my chances, so I could really show what I'm capable of. I don't know how many top tens I got, 16 or something in that year, and eight of them podium. But yeah, I mean there was just a win missing till August, but I think already after 3 or 4 races, I got a call that the contract is secured, and then I was racing the last, or like, yeah, nearly the full part of the season without pressure. Like, I knew like it's in the bag, and then you have everything achieved you dreamed of, and then now you can just show your best at every race for yourself, and yeah, aim for the biggest results without thinking like, if I don't get it, maybe I don't make it. So it was actually really nice, and also, yeah, then like I said, I could focus on the races I wanted to perform in because there was no pressure left, and yeah, so that was actually really nice. Also, like with the second year Devo and then making the pros, but it was not the safe that I joined before the year. So it was I got a new Devo contract, another 1 year, but it was not like I'm sure to step up. It was just because I had a good season start.
Hmm. And then okay, obviously like the dream comes true. You get the world tour contract. Now that you've been in the world tour for a year, how do you find it? Is it everything you hope for and more, or is it like what do you actually think about racing as a pro?
Yeah, if I'm honest, I don't know. Sometimes it's not really a dream. Sometimes the reality is quite hard. No, because actually, like to tell my view of the world before I was going into the pro circus, it was like, wow, for sure, it's like soccer players. Always good hotels, good flights, not business class, but like good flights. And then you come, you have the same shit hotels you have, and like yourself in France, the hotels and everything. You're like, well, I don't know if a soccer player would get it like this. Like, no, but like my view on the world was different, but it changed now, and I'm still happy to be there. It's not like it's like still a dream, um, but now I think the dream is yeah, getting different. Like now focusing on chasing other dreams, and yeah, I'm also thinking that I now progress to be a good pro rider, and not just a neo pro, and like if you can score results in the world tour, I think you made it to the pro ranks. But yeah, it's not everything sunshine as a pro. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard moments, and you never shut off. It's
Yes,
all
and
year long.
what's also crazy, then you're used to like the 2.1 races or something where you can get a result, and then yeah, UAE. I did my first World Tour race, but I mean, you have 4 stages where you have average heart rate of 110.
Yeah.
So it was not really that hard, and also the mountain stages was not too complicated. But like then I joined in Catalonia, Volta Catalonia, and then I was like, yeah, am I in the wrong world or something? You do your 20-minute best and you drop. and the whole peloton is still there. And then you think like, 140 riders, you do your best power numbers and you still drop. And then I was like, hey, that's really crazy because like in 2.2 races, if you do the power, 10 guys are with you, and there the whole peloton is still there. And then I'm suffering. Tadej Pogacar stops for a pee, and I'm like, if I stop for a pee now, I will never come back. And then 5 minutes later, he comes with nose breathing, and I'm like, "Oh, I can't hold this longer. And then he pedals next to me, and like, hey, what's going on here? And like the whole peloton is really like in the World Tour races, it's such a high level. It's like crazy. They can do all their
Everybody's
efforts.
nuts.
Yeah, maybe you can do the power one time and then they do it 5 times again. 5 times, 20-minute best in one stage, and then you're like, "Phew, come on." That's like really was eye-opening. But on the other side, this also gave like really good power for the upcoming challenges. Like I was on a level after it where I was never before, just because you had the hardness of the racing.
Do you think it's impossible to train that hard with just training? Like you just get better from the racing because the racing is just so hard.
Yes, 100%. Like it depends on the stage races, but like in Catalonia, it makes you so much better. Like because you even in the gruppetto, you need to push like gruppettos sometimes are easy if you have sprinters, but in Catalonia, I think there was 20 sprinters and 140 climbers. So like most of the time in the gruppetto, you still had like really good climbers, and then they still push. I don't know, uh, 4.5 watts per kilo or 4 watts per kilo or something. So you like still train in the gruppetto. Like you need to push hard to actually finish the race, and I think that's like what brings you the next step. And it was also super important to do it. Like, no matter how hard I've suffered races like this, I would do again, even though there was no result from it.
Yeah, great. Well, I mean, you're still 23. Like you're gonna just naturally get better with years. But like when you see that, as far as these guys flying, and like after the race or like flying home or something like that, what do you think about as far as like, okay, how can I get better? How can I like, what can I focus on to be better to get to like the level that all these guys are at?
Yeah, I think it's just to be consistent, and that's my biggest weakness. Because like,
Okay.
if you're consistent doing your training, I think you will gradually get better. And then also like to have like 4 or 5 races where you don't have a chance for results, but the race is super hard. Like I did Montreal and Quebec, and I would have never thought I would finish in Montreal, and then I finished there. And just races like this make you so much better, and to
Yeah.
like really use the races also mentally to learn from it and to make the next step with it. Train afterwards, good, have good recovery. I think that's like really important because the recovery is also one of the most important points, I think, to get better.
Interesting. What are the three training sessions you do the most?
Yeah, now after the sickness, it's a bit difficult, but normally I just we just do we 2 sessions as intervals, maybe some threshold sessions and medio blocks. I think it's
Okay. Well,
zone two
what's the
or
VO2 session? What are the intervals? What is this? A 4 hour ride, and what are the intervals, or what do you do? What's the VO2
yeah,
work?
it depends. Most of the times like 3 hours. Then like
Okay.
easy spinning, like not even your normal riding pace, like really easy spinning to the session. Then like I think we do like blocks. Like now I did 30 30s, but 30s we actually never do. Normally they have like their own program. It's like 30 seconds full sprint, and then you
Mm-hmm.
try to hold it 2 minutes over threshold. And then there's one variant where you have 30 seconds break, and the other variant is where you don't have a break and then you push again 30 seconds full sprint and then hold it 2 minutes. And yeah, you can do it like 2 or 3 blocks, but afterwards there's nothing left. Uh, that's like also really good for the 5 minute power actually.
Okay.
to have this
Interesting.
interval.
Okay. Interesting. And then okay, so what's another session you do? Or actually no, hold on. Do you do those efforts at the start at the start of the ride, the end of the ride, all throughout the ride? How
Yeah,
do you do
it's
it?
like planned 30 minutes after the ride. But
30 minutes in. Like warm up for 30
yeah,
minutes
30
and then
minutes
start.
in, yeah. But for me,
Okay.
it's mostly 1 hour because I always do it on the climbs. Until I'm in the climbs, it's like around 51 minutes to 1 hour. So,
Okay.
but some guys also do it after some fatigue to get some trained with fatigue. But I never had it. Maybe it will come in the future. But mine were always fresh at the beginning of the session. I mean, if I have a 3 hour session, I go there 1 hour, do the intervals, and go home. It's not
Yeah.
that you train much more there because it can also like interrupt like the training process if you train on after such a hard training.
Hmm.
That's
Okay.
why
All
they
right,
also
so that's one
lower
session.
like the watts. That's why they lower the watts also for the whole ride, so you don't even go into the endurance mode basically.
Okay. All right. That's one session. What's the second session?
Yeah, I think it's just classic 3 times 8 minutes threshold with 4 minutes break. Just hold your
Okay.
threshold. Like I didn't do it that much this year, but I also didn't do much intervals yet. But that's like normally like the case. Short breaks and then trying to hold the threshold, or like a bit over. And yeah, I mean medio. I don't know if you know what medio is, but I think it's zone two.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, it's like not really hurting, but it's not an easy feeling. It's like the tempo you don't want to ride actually, because like it's
Yeah.
not easy, but it's not really full gas, but it still hurts somewhere in the legs. No, and then you do like 20-minute session, 5 minutes break, 20 minutes again, or like 15 minutes, 10 minutes break, and 15 minutes. And
Okay.
yeah, I think it's more like the zone two training, which UAE does the whole day. We just do some minutes.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. How many hours a week do you roughly train? Like when there's not racing and everything interfering with it, just like a normal training week.
Yeah, it depends. I would I would guess between 15 to 25 hours. It really depends because
Okay.
you know yourself in the season, like you have like a race and then you have like days of rest until you train again, and then you also like take some days off before the race. But like now, where I'm again in a build-up because of the sickness, I think I do between 20 and 25 hours.
Hmm. Do you do much training with like cadence? Like, is there much low cadence or high cadence training?
Yes, low cadence for sure you do in the winter for the strength. But I also did some torque intervals, like sprints with low cadence, like long sprints, not full
Okay.
gas, so like 600, 700 watts, and really short breaks. That's what we did with the low cadence. Nah, but I also don't do a high cadence training because I normally have always high cadence. So, like for me, it's not an issue to ride over 100 RPM. So I think that's
Interesting.
not needed.
Do you have a session that you find like just helps you the most? Like one session that really works for you?
No, I think it's just the VO2s are always nice to see how the shape is from the feeling because you can compare it now for all the years and then you know as a Devo kid I was better than I am now at this moment, so it's not good. No, that's like I think the one where I can compare it the most, but yeah, I would say it's not really one session who makes you better. It's just the overall week or yeah, the overall block. Like if you see it in 3 week blocks, for example, I think that makes you better and not just one session.
Okay. Interesting. And do you listen to the podcast at all? Do you listen to any of the other episodes?
Yes, but I'm a bit yeah, how do you say, like, no, not hyper theoretical, no, like if something happens, it sticks in my mind and then I can't do it. And basically what had happened, I listened 2 times on the bike to your podcast and got 2 times a flat tire. Uh, so I no, it's not a joke. So I really try to avoid it on the bike.
This
No, but
fucking guy is telling us to share his podcast. Every time I listen to it, shit happens.
yes, nah, but yeah, I think I listened to the first ones who were there, like the first ones on the. You had like Jan Maas and Alison Jackson. I don't remember the other one. Sepkus. That's what
Oh
I
yeah, those were
listened.
in the book.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
those
from the
ones are in the
book.
book.
Like
Okay.
I listened
Yeah.
to the audio from the book, and then I think the podcast
Okay.
come automatically until I got a flat
Okay.
tire, and then it was game over for the podcast.
Did you like any of the stories or anything? Did anything stand out to you from any of the stuff that you've heard? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think I don't remember that much from them, but no, it was overall interesting because everyone has a different story and it's quite unique to hear also like the different training styles. I think in the pro ranks, the training styles a bit more similar, I would guess, because like everyone knows now how to train proper. I mean, I think like the only thing really different are the intervals because like
Yeah.
everyone knows how to clock in the hours when what hours and everything, but like the intervals may be different. But like to hear like from which background they come from, what they did to get there, I think that's the most interesting part always from the podcast. And like to
Interesting.
see how they come so far and like if you have similarities or something. That's like what I find the most interesting about it.
Cool. Okay. Well, how about this? What do you think guys are going to focus on? Like what is going to be the next big jolt in speed? Like if you look at the last 5 years or whatever, there's like heat training, super high carb, better tires, a bigger focus on aero. Everyone's got like a 56 tooth chainring on all the time. Like what do you think is the next one that is going to just make everybody just go that much faster? What do you think's the next big boost in speed?
I don't actually have a clue. I think what we really starting to see is just one chain ring because most of the time, most of the climbs, you just need a big chain ring nowadays.
Yeah.
Like I have the feeling, I never
That's
switched to a
encouraging.
small chain ring because I have the feeling if I switch to it, it's game over because I can't hold the power. And then, yeah, you see already a lot of guys using just one chain ring. And like, I don't think for the big mountain stages, but like, if you just have like till 6, 7%, you can always use big chain ring. So I think like those medium mountain stages and something, they will switch just to one chain ring most of the teams. Uh, I think, yeah, you can see also with the shorter cranks, one guy does it, now everyone follows. So I think maybe also the shorter cranks will be more common. Um,
Yeah. For sure. You hear that, everybody listening? If you need the little chain ring, you'll never make it as a pro. They don't use the little chain ring. That's
Depends
encouraging for
on the
everybody.
situation, yeah, but in the final you don't
Yeah,
need it
going fast or
anymore.
going slow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, like
What
if
do you
you're in the
think about?
beginning of the stage and everyone's going easy, then maybe, but the last 50K you don't need it anymore.
Ah, okay. So you can use the little chain ring in the neutral zone. All right, that's
Yeah,
more encouraging.
or in the gruppetto. But
Yeah,
if you
gruppetto.
have goals for the stage, better not switch.
Okay. What do you think about the whole? What size cranks do you have? What size cranks does everyone use on Alpecin?
I think we just have the standard ones. Uh,
172.5.
yeah, I'm actually not the bike expert. I just hope that the mechanics do a job and the bike is rideable. Uh,
Yeah.
my brother was or is like always the guy who's interested in bikes, and I'm just the guy who rides fast. So basically, if I have a problem, I just text him, and then he tells me what to do. So
And then you text the mechanic to do it.
nah, yeah, there I tell him in the race for sure, but I don't like. If they would switch my cranks, I don't know if I would feel it immediately. I'm just
Yeah,
happy
fair enough.
to be on the bike.
Okay. What's the like out of all the cool stuff you guys get every year? What's the coolest bit of because like every time at like the first training camp or whatever, it's like Christmas. You get so much cool stuff. What's your favorite thing? Like, what's the coolest thing you've ever gotten from the team?
Wow. For sure, like 6 pairs of Oakleys every year.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the
there you
best
go.
part.
That's sick. Which Oakleys do you like the best?
Yeah, it depends. There we are at the point again with your podcast and the flat tires. Like I won the first race with the classes, with the jawbreakers, and since then,
Yeah.
at every race, I think I can be good. I use the jawbreakers. So if you see me with the jawbreakers, there's something coming maybe.
Okay.
No, and
Okay.
also I like the Kato. I have like a white
Okay.
Kato that's really nice. But I just like I have so much different glasses, but most of them I never use because I don't like the style or they don't fit. So I really just stick with 3, 4 glasses the whole year.
You hear that, everybody? Message him. He's got all kinds of glasses kicking around. He probably just send them in the mail for free.
They're also brand new, so I can do a good price. No.
Okay. Well, okay. Here, tell me about like what was training. Like, give me some fun training stories when you were like a kid, like any younger
Yes.
stuff. Give me some good stories there.
Yeah. Like for example, like we always were trained by our father, who was back in the day amateur cyclist. So yeah, it was not
These are going to be good
really,
stories.
yeah, not too much, but it was really structured always. And for example, we had like on Mondays after the school, we always had 1 hour recovery rides, but we didn't know
Yeah.
what it is. And then we had like the standard loop, and then my brother and I just went full to get fast as home as possible. And then we had like 30, 31 average, but like as a 13, 14-year old, 30 average is like
A
now if you
lot.
would go
A
40
sprint.
in training. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, we just went full in the recovery days. Uh,
Sounds like a good amateur cyclist.
yeah. No, and then what we always did as kids, every month we went once to the track and then the track training with everyone and also like flying laps, do one full lap and then we see how we improve. No, but track was also always important for us and also cyclocross. And then we also did every 2 weeks we had like two time trial routes, one mountain time trial and one flat time trial. So like every 2 weeks we switched the routes and then like everyone came, we were like group of 10 kids and then we went always as fast as possible up the hill and it's actually really nice to see like the progress you always had there. Um, and I think now looking back, some people would say we trained a lot, but as a kid you didn't feel like you trained a lot. Um, we also never did intervals, but like looking back, the intervals were
Sounds
like,
like every day was an interval.
yeah, but like the time trials were intervals. And what's also I think interesting, like when we were kids, we raced like 60 race days a year. Like,
60.
yeah, we had like, I think the whole
How?
season, I think the whole season from March till October, we had like maybe 1 or 2 weekends with no races. And like we drove around the whole Germany. Yeah, it was crazy.
When you're what, 14?
Yeah, yeah, 14, 15, 16. But like, I mean, as a kid, you don't feel it. Like, I also count the cyclocross races, and if I think correctly, but like I said, if as a kid you wake up the next day and you're fine again. There's nothing as fatigue or something. But
This is why the
we
Europeans are better than us at cycling.
yeah, because
Okay.
you have every yeah, also like the Belgians. If you want, you can race
Yeah, for sure.
3 times a week. Also as a kid, I think. No, but that's like how we progressed, and like I mean, there was not much of else training. Some endurance rides, and then but our father really really looked that we also get the endurance hours in. Like At certain races, we always needed to do 1 hour extra after the race. And like
Oh my god.
as a kid,
And you're
it's
a
always a
kid?
bit like, yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, when we were older,
What?
like 15, 16, under 17, like under 17 youth category. So
Yeah.
we always did like at least 10K, but like some days 1 hour. But for us, looking back, I think it was the right decision. For sure, maybe it sounds a bit much, but in that moment was good that we did it like this. And now also my father, he's still like watching my training program. He like for him it was really hard to like let go his kid to the big world. And now he checks all the time the training pics. He doesn't say as much as the other years anymore, but when he sees
Okay.
something like too much intervals or too less endurance rides, he really says, "Yeah, you should go and do more endurance rides or ride longer or something." Because like when he was back in the days, they never went home before 4 or 5 hours on the clock. You know, like that's how they trained back then. Uh, and he also has his training books, and then he was like, "Yeah, look, when I was 22, I had 30,000 kilometers a year." And then you compare and everything. Yeah, no,
On the
but
steel bike, no air in the tires,
yes,
snow, uphill both ways.
yes, exactly. That's how they did it. No, but I think I wouldn't have changed anything. Like looking back now, for sure it sounds like a lot for a kid, but I mean, we just lived for cycling and to go to the school. That's like what we did.
Uh, That's awesome if you're like that motivated to do it. Like as long as like it's I'm guessing you were also excited to be doing this. It's not just like, "Oh, dad, do I really need to do another hour after I just finished the race?"
Yeah, the hours after the race were always a bit difficult because, like, yeah, you had your friends at the race and everything, and then they started to change and to have fun next to the road, and you still needed to train. But for sure, most of the days you were super motivated. And I mean, you had like the dream as a kid. The only dream was to get a pro, and so you do everything for it. And I think it was also really important to have like to be like multi discipline rider, like track, cyclocross, and road. That's also what still helps me, like from cyclocross, the technique, the speed from the track. That's always what helps me. But like the German national team, when I was junior, they really wanted to push me through the track because I was really
Mm-hmm.
good on the track. But I never wanted to do or to be a track rider, and I'm happy that I could go out of the way of being a track rider to become a road cyclist. Because I mean, now you would still have the chance to go on the track, but I'm sure if I would have stick to the track, I would have never made it onto the pro ranks.
The track days are also so long, and it's like you're so tired by the end of the day, and you've ridden for like 20 minutes because you have like a race, warm up, sitting around in the infield all day, like you're warm up, like you're never really getting changed, just sitting in your kit all day. It's like there's such long days, and you're crushed by the end, and then you look at your Garmin, and you're like, I rode for like 45 minutes
Yeah.
or like
But
2
I
hours.
remember in under 15 there we had like from Bavaria, the region, we had like a camp on the track where you learn like how to ride. Like we did so much stupid things where like a lot of crashes happened and everything. And then uh I let the computer run. And then I checked and we had like in the end of the day like 120 kilometers on the track. We were just riding the whole day. We had like 1 hour break and the rest we were riding and we were like 13 years old.
You did 120K on the track at the age of
Yeah,
13.
yeah.
Dude, you must have been so broken by the end of that, like just being on a fixed gear the whole time doing that.
Yeah,
You
I
had to
don't
just have like
remember
an
anything,
unbelievable
but
pedal stroke.
it didn't feel like that long because you just did fun games all the time. Like, I don't know, we rode up from the red line to the blue line and then like train like the limit of the bike, stop and go, like braking, and then we even did like laps the wrong side around.
Yeah.
It's a really weird feeling, by the way, doing it the wrong way. No, and
Why would
then
you
we
do
did,
this?
yeah, just
Why would you ride
to
the wrong way around?
I mean, like it sounds really stupid overall what we did there, but I never crashed in a track race or something. Uh,
Okay.
I need to knock on wood
Yeah.
because I'm sure it was because we had this experience. Like you also did it some more years, but like with braking, going the wrong way, going up and down, you knew like when there's like situations where others crash, you could always handle it. And I think it was really, really good technical also. And I mean, now you laugh and say, "Wow, maybe it was stupid," but in that
Clearly it
situation, it
worked.
really helped. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, then you also play like games. You do like elimination race, and then like I mean, the track was 333 meters long, and then you have like two lives, and you start with 30 riders, so you have like 120 laps or like
Yeah.
I don't know 60 laps. I don't know if it was every lap. Then you have 60 laps till everyone is out. So you basically have already 20 Ks just from one session, and then you did
Yeah.
everything, and then that's how you get so much kilometers. But yeah, I mean, as a kid, the 100 was always a magic number, no? Like have
That's
100
so
Ks
cool.
in. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Do you still do any time on the track or cyclocross? Or do you think you'll bring it back if you don't?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was never possible to do much. But like last year, for example, I had like I think 3 weeks no races in September, and there was like German championships behind the moto on the track, like Derny. And
Yeah.
so I asked the team, and I was allowed to race, and I won there. So it was really nice that they let me do it. And I did touch the track bike for 3.5 years, and I still was like 10 laps, and I was the old one. So and it's
Yeah.
the same with the cyclocross. Like I didn't do any races, and then like we had a race at home, and I joined them. And this year I won also there again. And it was not like that there was no one at the start. Like the guy who got second, he was now German champion in under 23 and everything. And like I didn't touch the bike the whole year. And you come there and you're still capable of, and it just takes some time. But I think just because I had like in the youth the overall training and everything, I'm still capable of doing it without having too much to put too much effort into it. And that's like really nice because like maybe it doesn't work on the road in some years. You can still have good results on the track with your background. That's like still possible, and I would never say no. Like if there would be opportunities for it.
I agree. I think, yeah, the biggest thing is like having the time to do it. But I mean, like if you think about track cycling, like so many guys would always talk about like track speed in your legs. Like if you go from riding on the track a lot and then going on the road, probably some of that is being like fresher from just doing a lot of intensity and not as many hours. But then I think the other thing is like just all the cadence work. Like from either getting really efficient from spinning a really high gear at a lot of power, or just like all the torque work from just winding it up all the time. I think that really counts on the road. Like I think it's just the best version of whatever kind of cadence training you want to do on the road.
Yes, I think also like this. I think that yeah, I wouldn't put track training in, but I think for myself, if the coach would put it in the training plan, I don't think it would make things worse, maybe even better. Like you know, like if people do motor pacing on the road, you can also do it perfectly on the track. Like for example,
Totally.
that's also a good training session.
Yeah, and then also like I'm the reason I asked if you ever thought you'd bring back cyclocross training, like if you just wanted a ridiculously hard workout in the middle of winter, like that feels more like fun. Like it's going to be harder than any VO2 session you're going to do. It feels like fun. And like the bike handling skills of course as well. Like it's just a really nice way to get in a bunch of intensity that mentally it feels more free because it's just a race. Like it's fun.
Yeah, but my trainer, my coach, was against it, and I understand his decision because he said like, yeah, Australia is coming soon, and then he was like, the intensity can be too much, or there's also easy ways to hurt yourself. But I mean, you can hurt yourself everywhere. So
Yeah.
no, but I understood it. But for sure, I would also never say no to do a cyclocross. But it's like, yeah, I mean, your heart rate is like crazy high for the 1 hour. It's like
Yeah.
180 average or something. Like it
Yeah.
can't get the intensity like this, like you say in the winter. It's crazy.
Yeah. And so was your dad always your coach before you went to Alpecin and got the coaches from Alpecin?
No, no. Like when I was overtrained, I switched a bit to like a regional coach and my dad. It
Okay.
was like a mix. So like I asked the other coach what to do, and then my dad was like, yeah, yeah, I would also do the same like this. So it was a bit of mix. And when I joined Radnet Rose, I got a new coach. Um, and yeah, there also my dad was a bit also in, but it was more like the work of the other coach, and my dad was just looking over it. But like I said, it was really hard for him to let go because yeah, I don't know how he sees it, but I think that you build your kid like this from your age on, and then you need to let go, and then need to give it to like another guy looks over it with his hands. I think it's really hard. But I think yeah, now looking back, he's also really proud, also for himself that he could step away and let me do my own thing, and also like to see where I'm progressing. I think for him it's also like, or like also with him and my mother together, they live like their dream by just being able to drive to the races to watch me, like all the races we watched when I was a kid in television. Now I can start, and they come with their camper van, and that's also like a dream for them. So I think that he was needed to step one foot away from coaching. I think it's in the end better decision, and I think he's really happy that he can be at the races.
That's amazing, and he should be proud. And same with your mother. That's great, and it's so cool when you have a project like that that you can work on with your parents. When your parents are like involved. Okay, so I didn't really ever have this, but like that must just be really cool when it's like you can do something with your parents like that. That's pretty cool.
Yes, I mean now it sounds a bit like that they really wanted me to go pro, but that's not true, and not that there are some false comments. It's not like that they really pushed us, but for sure, if they also put every year, every week in their hard work, and they want something to have out of it. But actually, to be honest, when I was under 23, I think the dream got really far away because like you really see like how the world works, because as a junior, you get some international results and you think like, wow, for sure I can be pro. And then you race some pro races or something, and then you see how hard or how high level this is, and then your family sees it. Oh, it's gonna be hard work, and like the world is completely different than you see it online. And I think yeah, to be able to enjoy all the races together with them, it's the best what could have happened for all of us, because like I said, they put so much work into, they were every weekend letting their own private lives go just to race with us. I mean, they also had fun, but in the end of the day, it's also hard work to have two boys driven around all Germany. So yeah, it's actually really nice also for them to be able to live their dream also with me.
That's awesome, man. So like what were the big changes though when like you get a different coach from Alpecin now to your training? So like it sounds like less intensity or less hours, more intensity, but like what did you learn when you switched coaches? Like what were the new things to training? What was different?
Yeah, you said it right. Less is more, basically.
Yeah, less
I
is
was
more.
like,
Okay.
I was also hungry. Like, you join Alpecin, or let's go full gas, and
Let's
then you
go.
see the training
Let's
plan,
go.
2 hours, 3 hours, no intervals. Then you start with intervals, but not really hard. It was really like not much endurance, and that was like I think the biggest change. Like really easy training, really relaxed. There is no rush, no stress, and I think that worked out the most. Like because before, like it was like a traditional German coach, put the hours in, uh, do this interval, but it was also mostly like really hour focused, and now it's more like focusing on doing every training really good, no matter if it's two
Hmm.
hours or 3 hours, but like to be focusing on coming home with a perfect ride, and I think that's what's made the difference. Like you don't need to go 250 watts in the winter to get better. Like you can also have a ride without with 190 watts, and you gain from it. And I think that's like what was really the biggest change. Like really more easy, not so much riding, and still getting better. That was amazing to see actually. And yeah, I think that the only problem was in Alpecin really that I had the police education and not the base miles through
Okay.
the police. So like at the races, I was always there, always having the high intensity, was always working. I could stay with the best or do my own result or something. But like really, the problem was after a period of racing where you need to recover, my body wasn't able to because I was missing the base miles. That was like really the biggest issue. And like for example, if you take 1 day of recovery, I needed to take 2 or 3 just to feel
Yeah.
normal again. So last year
So
was really nice because it was my first winter where I could train through the winter and I was a bit more stable. And then, I mean, I got unlucky with COVID and everything. But I think there I could also feel like you recover faster and everything. So yeah, that was like the only shit part about being in the Devo team. Just that I didn't have the base miles, but that was not their issue. It was really just my issue with the important education I did because it was also important for my life for sure.
interesting. Well, I also think that's a big thing, at least from my perspective. Like that's how training has changed from, let's say, the 2010s until the 2020s. Now, like if you look at like, and yeah, I mean, because I raced in both, and I would say that like in the 2010s and like the Froome era, it was all just like more, more, more. More is always better, and like like the goal was to basically leave at the training camp in a body bag, and then you don't leave the couch for 5 days, and then you're flying after, and that can work. Like you can also crush yourself doing that. Versus now, you see the training, it's like less volume, and it's not that you're working any less hard, but at least for me, it's like if I have a 5 hour ride, it's like every minute is structured for it. So it's like, okay, instead of a 7 hour ride, it's a 5 hour ride, and it's this cadence at this power at this point, and then this. Like you're staring at your computer for 5 hours straight, doing all this stuff, and you're never quite as crushed. Like the other thing that was different for me is, and again, like the 2010s, and this is also like a bigger thing that like North Americans and Australians do because you just race less. It'd be like 3 weeks really hard, and then rest week, and then all this kind of stuff. Versus now, I don't think I've ever had a rest week since I started training again at in whatever it was, like May of last year. And other than when I just like would take like off season, just go skiing and stuff, like every week is basically roughly around the same amount of hours because you're never completely killing yourself anymore. Versus in the past, it was like just twist the throttle as hard as you can until you're broken by the end of 3 weeks, and then rest for a week, and then do it again.
Yeah, I think you see still in the world tour that some people are doing it like the old school. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you see like Egan Bernal, for example, he still puts in the hours, or like Quinn Simmons, they put
Yeah,
still
Quinn.
crazy
Quinn.
amount. It was not
Thor.
maybe the best example. Uh, no, but I really see it
I
that
love
like
Quinn.
some people do some more hours than what we do now. But yeah, like you say, the trend is more less and more controlled. But actually, I'm also not a big fan of power meters for myself because I really like to
Okay.
ride on my feelings. And like
Okay.
often when I ride, I just go on the map page or like just a page where I don't see the power. And I just
Yeah.
ride after the feelings because if I have a bad day, I ride less power and then it's also fine. And if I have a good day, I have better power. But like if I have a bad day and look at the power and like, wow, today is really hard, and you try to push the same power at this time, you over push. But like because I
Yeah.
don't see the power, I don't over push, and that's like why I don't like really to train with the power. But like sometimes it's still needed for sure. Like if you have, I don't know if you're in the front with someone, if you don't ride alone, then it's also good to look at the power, and because then it sometimes turns into who can stick the front wheel more to the front. That's also not so good.
Half wheeling world championships.
Yeah,
If you're not giving it, you're getting
exactly.
it.
Yes, no, but like I said, I'm not a big fan of it in training. Also not in racing anymore. Like I also like in the last races, I never used the power meter because at the races I can be good. The only thing I need to do is hang on the climbs. Doesn't matter if I push at the time 500 or 400 watts, as long as I come over it. And because I had the feeling like if I starting a climb and I see, wow, I'm pushing 500, I don't know if I can hold it. And then sometimes I crack mentally, or you have a good day and think, yeah, wow, I can go faster. But like, uh, my feelings are that good that I can know, like, okay, that's enough to push. And I just switch to the power if I'm like in a gruppetto or if I really pace the climb. But if I just try to hang on, I don't need it.
So
Um,
you just don't look at it. Like the power meter is always there. You just don't look at the data.
yeah. I just use different site on the Wahoo or something. Um, yeah, but
What do you have on your computer during the race? Like what data fields do you look at? Distance, time, what else?
no,
Heart
actually,
rate.
I need to change it a bit. At the moment, I'm just looking at the map, and I have nothing else there.
Okay.
Like it depends if it's like a circuit race, like a one day race, the map is more important. Yeah, and on my page where I have the watts, I also have like the time, the kilometers, and everything. So like if I'm on the map, I sometimes switch to see the time if I ate in time, because I mean you need to eat at the right timings, otherwise you get a hunger bong. Uh, but yeah, like I said, I just write off the map and then
Interesting.
yeah.
How much time do you spend like preparing for each stage? Like just so there's like whatever, there's the meeting with the team like before the race, that's however long that is. And then but how much before that do you do to like stare at the stage? Like do you just look distance, look at the elevation profile, or do you go through Velo Viewer and like how much time do you put into looking at the stage?
Yeah, it depends. Most of the time I look like when I know that I race, I mean it changes so often nowadays that you're out of a race or in a new race. Um, but like if I know now I race this and this race in 3 weeks, so I look now on VeloViewer, see the profile, and then I already knew or know, oh, that's a good chance for me, for example. It doesn't mean that I can ride for myself for sure, but I know I can finish there good. And then I put in more time in it. Then, for example, a stage race where you have four mountain stages and one completely flat stage. I mean, I don't need to analyze the flat stage that much because there's not much obstacles. So you can analyze just the day before. And on the mountain stage, I mean, I don't want to know what's coming up. So it really depends on the racing. Like, and then, like you say, we have the meetings, and most of the time before the meetings or after the meetings, I check again VeloViewer because at some stage races you have the meetings on the day itself of the race. There I check the night before, so I'm already prepared. And yeah, if you have the meeting on the day before the race, then afterwards I check the key points again, check all the climbs. Like I mean, I always check the VeloViewer also on the mountain stages, but I don't check it 3 weeks in advance. But yeah, sometimes it's a bit yeah hard to do it because you see like 7% 20K climb or something that things you don't want to see. So it's better
Big chain
to
ring. Big chain ring.
yeah, so it's better to just send it and oh, but the races I can do good. I'm trying to know as much as possible, know the finals, but
Okay.
really how often like it's not false information, but you really never, even though with Google Street View, you never have the feeling of how it's gonna be in the race. Like the finishing is bit bending towards the right or left on a video view, it's straight, for example, then it's completely different. Or the corners, you know there's a corner, but you don't know if you can still take it full speed or not, for example. So it's good to know like what's coming up, but it can never tell you how it's really gonna be.
Got it. And then, okay, this is a really dorky question, but when you have the map on your on your Wahoo in the middle of the race, how zoomed in do you have it? Do you toggle like how zoomed in it is throughout the race, or do you just set it at one point?
Yeah, I have it most of the time at 200 meters because then you can see the corners good. For a downhill, I don't know the downhill, I use 100 meters sometimes, but there you don't see like what's coming up. And also in the downhill, I actually need to say I ride on feelings because I can tell much more how the corner will be if I just go in it. Because it's
Yeah,
also like I said, the maps you have maybe like
it's not perfect.
90-degree turn, but in real life it's like 70, and you can take it full.
Yeah,
But there it says you should brake, for example. No, and then like if I want to see what's coming up, you can zoom out. But most of the time I ride on 200. Because I mean, the more you zoom out, the less you see. Like you
yeah,
don't see much on kilometer how the route's gonna be evolving. And I mean, the climbs you also see on the map when they're coming up, so that's also good to know. And that's all I need to know. And
okay.
then you see,
Do you know what?
like you see red, steepest part, yellow, it's okay, and green, it's easier part. That's also good to know on the climbs.
Yeah, okay, cool. And do you know what your next race is? Like, has the team told you? Because like obviously you had Catalunya. Now you've been sick for what 3 weeks. That sucks. Do you know what the next big race is?
Yeah, normally I will do Walter Limburg, where I was third last year. But
That's a hard
yeah,
race.
yeah, that's the problem I have at the moment because there's no race in front planned. And last year I was actually flying because I was doing Catalonia. No, I think that I will be in good shape there, but there you really need to have like the kilometers in the legs to be there in the
Yeah,
final. Like you know it yourself. I
it's
don't
the
know if you
mini
raced,
Amstel
but
Gold Race.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I remember I
crazy.
raced this race. I did this in my first year in Europe, and I remember that like 2 days before, I saw that Sepp, because Sepp had come over to Europe the year before me, and so I was asking him like, "Hey man, have you done this race before?" And he's like, "Boah, this is horrible. I forgot after I got dropped from it." And I'm like, "Oh Jesus Christ! Like he got dropped from this race? Like this is gonna be horrible." And it's like, just a bajillion corners. And it's like come to like if you're not in the first like 5 wheels, you come into the corner, basically dead stop, and then sprint up all these little hills up and down. It's like it's basically like an elimination race on the track, except on the road. Like out of every corner, last 5 guys gone, gone, gone.
Yes, I think it's always just 50 guys finishing. It's really crazy. From 180 guys who start. No, but I think there you can also come really far on a bad day, and you can also fuck yourself up on a good day because this like last year
That
I
must have been
was.
what I had.
Yeah, but no, but like last year I was already like completely dead after 50 Ks, and I still was there in the final. And like I had
Yeah.
so many problems on the really steep kickers, but like on the bit more flat kicker, out of nowhere I attacked, and I'm like I was so hard in the wheels, and then I was like, yeah, now I need to go, and then I went over my limit, and yeah, it worked out. And I mean, like the climb before, I was like nearly dropping. So like that's really a race where you can come far no matter how the shape is, um, with overpacing or not overpacing. So, well, but overall, I think it's still a nice, really nice race to do.
Okay.
But I think without the race preparation, will be difficult. But yeah, I think you can still do a lot in training. But normally, I'm a guy who gains the most from races. But yeah, we will see. I mean, I know the race, I know the parcours, I know what to do. So I hope I come
Okay.
far in it. And then I think
Interesting.
the next big highlight would be Tour de Romandie
Yeah.
because I should get some chances there from the team. And it's also still a good time, or some time away, to be in perfect shape. And yeah, that's actually my goal now, to be there in the best shape possible and to get some results again.
Okay. Cool. Is the next is like a grand tour a big goal for you?
Nah, actually, there's nothing yet planned. I mean, time will tell if it's gonna be this year or not. Um, Actually, at the moment, like if they want me to ride it, I will never say no because Grand Tour is a Grand Tour. But for me personally, in this moment, I'm not a big fan yet because, yeah, I'm more like the guy for the smaller races. And
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, we are like a sprint team, and then you have like, well, for example, we have 3 or 4 chances, and the rest is just suffering. Um, like I don't have a Grand Tour experience, so I don't want to say like it's good or not good for me. But like at the moment, I would not, like I said, I would not say no. But it's not like on my bucket list already this year. For sure, the next year is 100% to try and see how it goes. But this year, if I don't do one, I'm also a happy man at the end of the year.
Okay, cool. We were talking about like how talented some of the guys were in the past. Like, who's the most focused rider you've ever seen? Who works the hardest out of anyone you've ever seen in pro cycling?
That's a good question. I don't see the other guys train that much, so it's hard to tell. Also, from our team, it's hard to tell because I mean, in training camp, yeah, you can't really tell who's focused. It's like you have fun at the dinner table, you talk with everyone. It's not like that someone is sitting there and thinking like, "Phew, need to focus on tomorrow's ride or something." But for sure,
Yeah,
there are some specialists, but I can't tell you a name yet. Um, from my perspective, I didn't had someone where I'm like, "Wow, he's going like crazy on every detail." For sure, you focus on all the small details. So like everyone is focused, but it's not like that I saw one guy who's like extreme. Uh, so I can't give you a name there.
really, no one comes to mind.
Maybe in 3 hours, when I fall asleep, I'm thinking, oh, this guy would actually, like I said, I don't know the others. Like I just know the Alpecin guys. I don't know, like like Matteo Jurgensen, for example, comes to me like super focused guy who puts in all the
Yeah,
necessary work and looks for all the small details. And when you read like what he did in Movie Star, he invested every cent he earned to get better, and now
yeah.
he earned himself like the contract at Visma. That's focus for me, but that's just an example from the media. I can't tell you how it is in real life, so I really don't
Oh, in
have.
real life, it's just as impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
No, I mean you have like guys like Mathieu at the
Yeah.
races, but for me, he's a guy who's just racing for fun. For sure, he's focused 100%, but I think if he doesn't have fun, he doesn't start. That's what I think when I see him. When I race, he just wanted to have fun. I raced with him once, and then he just has fun in the bus, fun at dinner. It's not like really that he puts pressure on himself to be, yeah, to weigh the food or something. It's just like it's fun to race, and he wants to have a good time, and then it's also a good race, and then
Do you have any
everything
good
will
Matthew
fall into
Vanderpool
place.
stories? I mean, the Lamborghinis, Dubai, the Richard Mill. Do you have any good stories from Vanderpool?
Nah, actually not. But I just played Fortnite with him once, and then he never played with me anymore. So maybe I was too bad for him. I don't know. No, nah, like in the first year, I was riding with him in the training camp, and then they made a fun of me. Then they like him and Jonas Rickard were like holding my saddle, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Henry, you have a flat tire." And I was like, "No, no, no, no." And then like, but your brake is not working proper. And yeah, and then he was asking me at the dinner table, "And you checked your brakes? You checked your brakes if they're still working?" And yeah, that's like a funny story for me. That Yeah, but there, like if they did it like this to me, then I also felt welcomed.
Yeah.
Welcomed in the team. Like if they make a joke on you, like Mathieu van der Poel, like for sure, if he does something like this, you're then welcomed in the team. So it was actually not that bad.
That's nice. Okay. How about this then? Other like fun stuff then. If I gave you 10 grand, 10,000 euros to spend on fun, you can't be smart with it. You have to spend it on your enjoyment. What would you spend it on?
Well, I would buy a Lama Socko, make coffee.
Ah, okay. Okay. Good call.
Um, yeah, and also I would buy a outdoor kitchen for my balcony.
Oh, an outdoor kitchen. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, on my balcony because like I like to make pizza in the pizza oven, like
Okay.
self-made pizza, and then I want to have like a nice kitchen and like I mean that's fun for me like in that moment, you know. It's like the same as a coffee
Yeah.
machine, so I would for sure do that. And otherwise, I don't know what else at the moment I would buy for it. That's like my go-to coffee machine and outdoor kitchen.
Hmm. Okay. Do you have a cool coffee machine now?
Yeah, I have a Rocket Espresso Mozzafiato since 5 years, I think.
And you think the La Marzocco is even better?
Yeah, I tried it. No, I said like no, I'm still a huge fan of Rocket, but I would also like to try the La Marzocco. I mean, it's a nice style, the Linea. So yeah, so, like something different to handle, you know. Like now I do always the same to make the coffee, and there you have like different setups to make the coffee. It's also nice to do something different. Um, but I mean, the coffee outcome at the end of the day will be exactly the same, maybe. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, man, every time I've asked you like about like training and stuff, you're always so down on yourself. But you have like your results speak for themselves. Like you put yourself down a lot more than what you are. So like if I were to ask other people that know you really well, what would they say makes you good? What do you think that you do that makes you great as an athlete? What do you think is
what makes
special
me
about
great
you?
as an athlete? That
Yeah.
I'm good use for a lot of race situations.
Okay.
Um, I can finish in a lot of situations. Like down under, for example, I was just backup for our sprinter,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, they can count on me. You know, I will be there in the final. I think because I have the mentality to be there, even if I'm there to help. But yeah, I mean, my opportunities, my results. You know, I don't get too much chances from the team itself, but all my results I earned because I was still there where I needed to be, and like the leader had a bad day or something, and that's how I get my results. So I think you can always count on me in the like not the mountain stages, but every other stage. I will be there when you need me. Um, no, but yeah, what else? I don't know if I'm a good training buddy because since I'm in the world tour, like when I joined, like I don't know Nepomuk, you
Yeah.
know him
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
something. Like we joined them
Yeah.
on his birthday, right? We had 10 guys, and I was all the time in the front, and the others were like
Yeah.
pulling
Sparring
like this
partners.
next to me. Yeah. So I don't know if they like it or not that they are not in front. Uh, but like,
They should ride
yeah,
faster. That's what I tell Nepo all the time. It's like, hey man, you should just train harder. He asked me for training advice. I'm like, dude, just push the pedals harder. Like you just gotta try harder, man. That's it.
yeah. But actually, what he did, I don't know, 2 years ago or something, and I was really surprised. Like when he was like structured training, like he got really good at one point. It was actually also good progress because like when he always coached himself like you did in the past, and he also like
Mm-hmm.
had actually a good level, I need to say. Like
Yeah.
not maybe for racing, but like in terms of training and the power he pushed was actually not too bad for a self-trained athlete. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Now I'm
no, I like to
now
train
I'm
with
worried.
him. So.
Okay. Well, no. Now I'm worried. Has Nepo told you stories about me?
No, I don't think so. I don't see him
Okay.
anymore that often. Maybe we do 2 times a year. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
I was getting worried. It's like, wait a minute. How much time do you spend with Nepo? What have you heard?
maybe after the
Okay.
podcast he will write me something. How about you?
Yeah. Sure. Okay. You want to end the podcast there, man?
Yeah, if you don't have any further questions, I also don't have any more ideas what else to bring to the world.
Oh, I still got lots of questions. If you want to keep going, what's the lowest moment of your career?
Well, that's a good question. I, I always forget that's also funny. I always forget a lot of things. Like when people ask me, for example, last year at the huge disappointment I had, I think I told them race where I crashed or something. But I even had the worst disappointments last year. Like I was in the one race in GP Mosere. I started sprinting and I slipped out of the pedal. And if you see the
Yeah.
video, I had the most speed of the whole guys. Like you can never tell if we would have won, but it was for sure podium, and it would have been my first pro podium in a one-day race. And then I slip out of the pedal, and
Uh,
and then it felt everything like slow motion, and it felt like you have a nightmare and you wake up in the bed because like you're
yeah.
full sprinting, and then out of nowhere you're searching a pedal, like things like this. But oh, the worst moments. You have a lot of disappointments, like most of the time. I think you have more disappointments than victories, but yeah, that's what I mean. I forget the best results I forget, and also the worst memories, but I really can't tell you one. Like I said, like where I slipped out of the pedal last year, that was for sure huge disappointment. Uh, yeah, some crashes are always harsh, but luckily it was never too bad for me. So yeah, it's, yeah, I can't tell you that much at the moment. For sure, always getting sick
Okay.
is always disappointment in nice races, or to miss nice races. But it's not like that I was at a race and started crying or something because I was so so disappointed.
Okay. All right, here. Well, one more question then. Is like something like useful for like younger riders. How important do you think it is to have an agent?
Yeah, it depends. I think to get into the pro ranks, it's really important. But it's also hard to get an agent. But I think once you're in the circus, uh, it's still important for sure because he has better connections than you. But I think you build also own connections, and like I personally would never say I don't need an agent anymore. I'm really happy to have one, and I'm because he does all the work for me, and also he does life stuff, not only cycling. Like he helps me in everything, like taxes, really everything. So I'm really thankful to have the agent on my side. But like just in cycling terms, I think if you have one, it's really nice, but it doesn't mean you get pro by it. Um, if you get your results, nowadays they start already scouting under 17 agents. So like in the youth categories, you can already get an agent nowadays. It gets really crazy. So basically, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be worried if you have decent results already in youth. It can be that someone knocks on the door, and for sure in juniors, but it's not that like if you don't have an agent in under 23 that the world is over because nowadays with all the development teams, if you have one good result where some development teams are there, it can happen that they just ask you and then you're in. So it's not really needed, but I think if you just not in a development team, that's the go to join a world team or to join a development team. But it's also possible without. It's maybe a bit harder, but it's not that the world or your door is closed because you don't have one.